There's an old argument going back and forth between a lot of different believers. Works or faith? That was exactly what Paul was facing when he was dealing with the Galatians. He had taught them that you were justified by faith in Jesus Christ and that you received salvation through grace. And yet they had quickly reverted back to a works kind of a doctrine. And today many people will say to you, that's just too simple. There's got to be more to it than faith. I've got to be doing something in order to earn my salvation. Well, you know, Paul makes a great argument. We talked the other day about in Galatians the fact that there are 3 sections: grace defended, grace explained, and grace applied. We're still in chapter 1 and 2, and we're in the grace defended. And we know that Paul is trying to convince them that it is by grace and faith and not by works. Just as we would have to explain today in this world that we live in. Listen to what he says in Galatians 2, verses 20 through 21. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself up for me. Now listen to the last verse, verse 21. I do not nullify the grace of God, for if righteousness comes through the law, then Christ died needlessly. What an argument for faith and grace. Why in the world would Christ go to the cross? Well, matter of fact, why would he even get prepared to go to the cross by his scourgings and by his ridicule and by all of the discomfort that he went through, and then go to Calvary and be nailed to a cross and literally suffocate on the cross, having lost great amounts of blood, if in fact we could get to heaven by works? Why not just go on and beat the Romans, turn everything into peace, and go on his way if our salvation could come through works? And then he could just go to heaven and say, okay, work your salvation. Do as many works as you need to. Well, how many works would that be? Who knows how many works that would be? And how perfect would the works have to be? And would we have to weigh the good stuff versus the bad stuff to get in? No. Paul clearly says here, if I don't get grace and saving faith through Christ's death on the cross, then he died needlessly. Think about that for a minute. Christ didn't die needlessly. It was the only way. And we receive our salvation by grace through our faith that he died for our sins. The only possible atonement that was adequate for the sin of man. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you. Have a great day.